Hey there, everybody. Today we're in just outside Porto, and we're with Andre from Vetra Bikes. And can you show us around?
Yeah, of course. Let's have a look.
Yeah, what is this awesome space we're in?
Yeah, so basically this was a old furniture factory
Okay.
that they basically got too big and they had to move out, and they actually moved down in another bigger facility down there.
Yeah.
And then basically friends of mine from childhood I used to ride bikes with
Yeah.
basically found the space, and a year back, more or less. And at the time I was in Berlin and I was speaking with Pedro.
Mm-hmm.
And Pedro was like, oh, like in Portugal, actually, the bicycle kind of scene manufacturing is kind of growing up.
Yeah.
I think you should come and see it. It's quite interesting. So basically, we have Elder on that side there that has like, he basically produces CNC machines.
Okay.
And so, for example, like this machine here,
Wow.
he actually made it for Canudos, which he makes camper vans. So yeah, there's kind of like a synergy among us. Like I'm still new. I'm still here for 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm still yet to maybe produce some CNC stuff with Elder.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting because like literally I was like 18, 16 years old. I used to ride with these guys, do dirt jumping. Elder taught me how to do backflips on the BMX.
Right.
So it's kind of coming back home.
So this looks like your corner. I can tell by
Yeah,
the
this is
bike tools.
exactly. Basically, this is just like a small scale frame building workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Hey there, everybody. Future Russ here in the editing bay. Just to let you know, we are trying to get to the Made Show in Portland, Oregon, but it's a fairly expensive show for us to do. Our estimated cost for like flights and lodging is about $3,500 to about $4,000. That doesn't even include food. That's pretty much way more than we make on YouTube AdSense at the moment, which sad to admit, but that's how it is. Our goal is to basically not go broke filming the show. So if you guys have been enjoying this series on Portugal or any of the videos, a lot of them are self-funded. We really want to do Made, but in some ways it doesn't make financial sense, but we booked the tickets anyways. You guys can make it sting less. All the links below, and let's get back to the video.
We got the old school machines like from the 60s.
Yeah.
Which in Germany they're quite easy to find,
Okay.
very good quality, and the price point for rigidity and performance, it's great. So it's like they're amazing machines. I mean, you see the small factor of them. They're kind of like pit bulls. They're like super small, super tiny.
You can do everything you need, like the.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is a pretty basic setup.
Yeah. Did you bring this back from Berlin or did you find it here?
Yeah, so basically, like I brought back from Berlin 3 tons. To be honest, it was maybe a bit of a mistake because I didn't know how the secondhand market would be in Portugal.
Yeah.
But then I got to know that it's actually amazing.
That's really good.
So then I start like looking around, and there's like a bunch of old factories that are just letting their machines go.
Yeah.
And all this old stuff is actually put it out for sale, and with very good prices also. I mean, at the end, it's a pretty simple workshop. Yeah, I mean, I got the Conga tools, always like the best in the sense of like price point and also what they actually managed to do. Like, and actually, like my favorite tool is actually this one.
What's that?
It's
like a magic arm?
It's it's a magic arm for cameras.
Yeah.
But the jigging capacity of this is actually very good because you basically have, once you kind of clamp this on, this becomes just like a rigid structure. So it's for small little work, like if you want to do bridges, if you want to do small things that need to be set in position,
right,
and you need to use your both hands. This is like your third hand, literally. I mean, my background is actually from video.
Okay.
So that's where I come. Like when I saw these ones for sale, I was like, oh wait, this is actually this is gonna work out way better than I thought.
You should just rebrand them as like a frame building.
They're really cool, 100%. I mean, I try to show it to everyone because like literally this saves my life every time. Because like with frame building, it's like a constant quest of jigging. It's all about jigging, trying to get things fixed in places. In a very kind of precise manner. And these ones are the quickest setup I get for out of the ordinary setups that I might have to do. Right. So shout out to Magic Arms. Like amazing. They're like the best tool I have in my workshop. For example, I use actually that Magic Arms also to set up, for example, the angles for this handlebar.
Okay.
Yeah, also like for the stem, for small little bits and bobs. For example, these buses. You're gonna brace this on, and then you basically kind of clamp this in. And then let's say that you either hold it, the piece there,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just make it like as in a point,
Oh.
like that. And so let's say that now I put this on the table, and that has already a miter. So then I clamp it in, and then that stays in position.
Okay.
And this, of course, takes many forms. So then you can do this also, and you can just like take it out. It's loose.
Right.
You can actually kind of. It's so funny because it's such a basic tool.
Right.
I love it.
Coming soon, Vetra frame building.
Magic clamps.
Magic clamps.
Exactly. And off you go, and you're ready to go. And you see, like
Cool.
this was like 2 seconds setup.
Right. Yeah. And so, like, how would someone have to do this without something like the magic arm? Like,
Yeah, I mean, like in frame building, there's many ways to do the same process, right?
Yeah.
For example, you have this. This is it's also kind of a peculiar vice.
What's that? That's interesting.
This is a shaft
Okay.
vice. So it's used to hold shafts.
To like round things.
Exactly. But of course, bike parts are round, so it's
Mhm.
great for also that. So for example, if I would have to have another process, for example, to do this, what I would do would be hold this, for example, in place. For the table, I have this plane, and I can just do multiple setups on the flat table.
Right.
So this is also good for stuff out of the ordinary that you need to think about how you're going to jig stuff. So for example, you could just take this guy out. You could put it here, for example. You could hold this guy in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the sheer weight of this is already quite,
Yeah.
on itself is quite an anchor. And usually the bottle bosses are actually, the bottle bosses, no, these guys are already kind of fixed. Like
Yeah.
I just say, like they have a notch on there.
Yeah.
So they, by default, they want to sit on a tube by default. So you take that as the example. And then, for example, you would come here.
Mm-hmm.
This would be fixed in place. That would be fixed in place. And then there you go. You have the same thing as the magic arm. You're
Right.
holding a piece in position. Of course, this is more rigid. So you have to use kind of this. I would hold this on here. It would be already without this.
Right.
So it would have to also think about the process, what comes first.
It's a lot like playing with Legos. You know?
Yeah, it's
You've got
exactly.
certain things that you can
Exactly.
ways to
Exactly.
hold work pieces.
Exactly. And then the thing is, like, once you start from a base, a very flat base already,
Yeah.
and then you have precision prisms and stuff like this, then you always know that this in reference to that is square. So whatever sets from there, then you can
Right.
always be sure in some way that you are right. I think it's kind of the best because then once you're used to this platform of building, you can then expand to any types of build. You just need to think out, how do I fixture in this flat table?
Yeah.
And then as long as you have all your references are square and or angles or whatever, then you're kind of set, you know? You can do this. You see now you have like a gap in between there.
Oh yeah.
So what we do is we kind of get that
Mm.
closer to where you want to be at. Something like this.
Mm-hmm.
You hold it. Of course, like this would be better if this is clamped to the table and you can kind of...
Mm-hmm.
So then basically you can just check like general dimensions. You can come here. You see, you can check the parallelism between this. What means is like, you know,
Right.
if you have a dropout that is more
Yeah.
back and forth. Another point, for example, if you would want to now do holes, for example, if I do this, so let's say I want to do holes there.
Yeah.
And I want to take a reference mark. I can put this right, anything that hits that top, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that hits that top, it's a center line.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
Because like if it doesn't, like it would curve away. So
exactly, because this is square and the fork is square. So in
Right.
relation to the table, you're sitting at the top of the thing.
Right.
So yeah, so for example, here I already have my marks for 3 points.
Oh, okay.
And now I can already have a starting point to know exactly where I drill
Right. Right.
the bottle bosses, right?
That's cool. So this is like your 0 point. Like you calibrate everything to this, and then
Exactly.
that's the
Exactly.
thing you can make assumptions about.
Exactly. You start building from the flat surface in reference to this. If you know that this is square to that and this sits square to that, so how do you see that? You just
Right.
come here. If I would put this like there in the middle, I don't have access to this, but for me to see if this length is parallel to the table, I would basically measure this point and then click it in here,
Mm-hmm.
move it all the way to that side, and then I know if this would do exactly this, like no gap in between,
Right.
I know it's parallel with the table. So then I know that my starting point is precise as it could be. I had to build it on this table
Mhm.
because my stem jig doesn't have enough stack
Mm-hmm.
to build a stem like this.
Right.
So right off the bat, that jig does not suit my needs, which is this one piece.
Right.
So therefore, I come here to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, at the end, I think it's all about learning. You just kind of try to solve problems all the time.
Mm-hmm.
and then it comes to a point where you kind of find a process that's like, wow, this actually cut 2 or 3 processes less than another one. It's like skeletal. It's like proto. It's like the beginning of like machining and like aligning stuff. It's kind
Right.
of like it's just as simple as this, right?
Right.
If you
Right.
have all your references and they all stack up, then you can
Right.
translate all that precision into the work pieces.
What kind of bikes are you known for making? Is this like a good example? Is this
Yeah, this is kind of like a modern ATV mountain bike, whatever you want to call it. It's actually my bike in the sense that it does what I want, what I specifically wanted to do for myself.
right?
What I do is from gravel bikes, ATVs.
So more off-road oriented.
It's more, I tend to prefer more off-road oriented.
Yeah.
But again, I also have done gravel bikes with 35C tires and stuff like this, and also I've done fixies and stuff like this. When you have a bicycle, you have
Yeah.
points of contact, right? You have the people sitting down. You have how'd you call? You have a center of mass. So a lot of builds that I do, I actually ask for the clients, where are you going to ride? What kind of terrain you going to ride?
Right.
If we would have to put it in percentages, how do you see, for example, the next 2 years, you're going to be ride 80% gravel, like loose, or you're going to go to the mountains, do super harsh downhills, you like to let it loose. Actually, nowadays I'm doing a lot of ATVs with high bottom brackets, so it's like unstable bicycles by default.
Right.
Personally myself, I love unstable bikes.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's not about instability. At the end, it's about experience, right? The rider's experience.
Yeah.
So if you, for example, grow in a kind of road context where you're sitting down in the saddle, you are used to having kind of your CG always a bit lower,
Right.
using you use more kind of your weight shift and your knees and your elbows kind of to curve the bike.
Yeah.
When you do a mountain bike, you have 2 positions. You have sitting down in the saddle, and then you have the standing up.
Yeah.
And the standing up is a totally different world depending on your experience, right? Like
Right.
if you like gravity sports, if you like to jump around, just jibbing around
Yeah.
roots and jumping off holes and ramps and stuff, an unstable bike is more responsive by default than
Right.
the opposite, right? That's why I'm saying, like, which kind of category bike do I do? I basically just listen to the people, what they actually see themselves doing in a year or two, what kind of terrain they explore, and also what kind of terrain they might want to progress into.
Like one thing that strikes me when I look at the bikes you built is some of them have like really nice like organic shapes
Yeah.
to them. Let's talk about this fork and like the thinking. I'm assuming a truss fork, and this connects to the steer tube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, basically, this is a prototype. In reality, what do truss forks give that other forks don't give is basically eliminate the fork judder.
Okay.
So basically, when you have a fork like this one or like this one, when you're especially on, for example, when you have slack head tube angles, the fork once is on braking load, it does a tiny bit judder.
So how does the truss like mitigate that?
I don't know if you know this, but usually in frame building, like diameter is king. So the bigger you go on OD, the bigger you go on cross section, the more rigidity you get out of a structure within that vector.
Okay.
So what the truss fork does is, for example, in this place, it actually augments quite a bit that vector. So when the forces are being applied, it's as if this would be this thick, kind of.
Okay, so it's
I mean,
kind of like a virtual like oversized diameter.
Exactly. For example, where the force comes through. So
Yeah.
if you have the weight on it, and then you have the braking forces,
Right.
so it's like on kind of this plane, on this vector. So it's basically that. But like it's at the end for me, this was like done for a friend. This is almost more work than a frame. I mean,
It looks like
takes
3 bicycle frames of
yeah,
thick.
exactly. This takes way much more time. So this
Yeah.
is more kind of a, to be honest, this is a passion
project.
Yeah, passion project. It does suit the function that it was designed for.
Right.
In terms of weight gains, marginal.
Yeah.
If you're also into that, I'm not really into that.
Well, let's talk about the
Yeah.
racks, because those are another, I feel like, striking thing that you're known for.
This is basically kind of a butterfly rack,
Yeah.
as you can see. And this actually got born from a friend of mine, Caroline David. She is an artist, and we wrote together for a long time, and she was part of the beginning of Vetra. And she was also using inspiration for the graphical part in Vetra, which is also kind of a big thing. So this vase is actually Caroline's vase.
Oh, okay.
This one here.
Nice.
So she kind of produces, very organic, nature-oriented,
Shapes, yeah.
bubbly shapes. And so at the time, actually, she did. She also an amazing graphic designer, and she did also a T-shirt for us. And at the time, we traded off. So basically, she did a T-shirt with a butterfly.
Yeah.
So I made her
Okay.
the butterfly rack.
Nice.
It was actually one piece for her. But then again, then it started. I mean, I kind of put it out,
Yeah.
and then it was like, yo, butterfly rack. You know?
So is this a diameter to fit a certain thing? Like, could you put coffee in there, or is it
No,
just...
this is basically just to kind of don't have a big hole. So you want to have something that is kind of like right there in the middle,
Right.
so you have the tire.
Okay. I see.
It's actually quite funny because once you actually put the straps, this corners are actually quite, because usually on the square rack when you
Yeah.
put the straps around, you have that flat edge.
Yeah.
Where this one kind of pushes the straps right in the middle.
Yeah.
So then if you have like small stuff or whatever, this is actually quite useful. It's just kind of a design piece at the end.
Yeah.
It's not like really. I mean, of course. I mean, what is a rack, right? It's
Right.
like it's a base
Yeah.
that holds stuff on top.
Yeah.
So yeah, why not make it a bit funky and
Yeah.
yeah. But was for Caroline and David.
So what's the inspiration for the graphics? So again, it feels very like organic and not. It's not like a Helvetica.
No, it's not. Yeah, indeed. I mean, my background comes from, like I told you before, it comes from video. I studied film.
Yep.
But then soonly I transitioned to animation and
Okay.
graphic design. And then basically in Berlin, I collaborated with a lot of people that became friends, and we kind of always had a very strong relationship with graphics. Like for example, that poster there.
Yeah.
Like that's Jonathan Castro, which is a big friend of mine.
Yeah.
All those posters there.
Yeah.
Actually, you can see some resemblance from those posters from friends. Backgrounds from BMX. And it's kind of interesting because with BMX, you don't have very different models. Like the BMXs are always the same. You have two
Right.
sizes. What differentiates a lot of it is the graphics. The graphics, it's not about the graphics itself, but I think it comes from the necessity of embedding into a culture. For example, maybe you at the beginning, we started with bikes, like you get a frame and you know what you're going to do with it. And then all of a sudden you spend like 10 hours trying to search for a fork for it, for wheels, and you're investing time with it. And within that time, it comes experience, and it comes also emotionally like attached to that object, right? Like after you build that bike.
They call it the IKEA effect. Like the more inputs that you put into an object, you like build a bond with it.
Exactly. No graphics are kind of the same, so it's all custom based. So, and the process that I kind of defined to do that is basically image based. So I try to ask for all my clients to feed references if they're into design, if they're into trips, if they're into whatever is kind of gives them an emotion. This one is also kind of nice. It's from Jack Taylor. Slow down to see more. This is a part of the process that I'm really kind of happy to do, and I really put my effort into it because I think it's important. I mean, it's such a different thing of going to a shop, just getting your cash out, getting a bike, and then all of a sudden you're just with this piece that you're not used to it.
So speaking of Vetra bikes, or speaking of getting a Vetra bike, you've just set up shop.
Yeah.
Are you ready to take orders? Like, what's the process?
Yeah, I'd say at the moment I'm already full on.
Okay.
I already have a lot of orders actually.
That's
It was cool. Yeah, it was kind of a surprise. I was expecting that transition would be a bit more calmer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's still in good timings.
Yeah.
I can start building a frame at the moment around October. So that's all right. Yeah, so I mean, I guess for more information, we have the website.
Yeah.
The website has all the process there. All that we spoke a little bit, everything is kind of there.
Well, thanks so much for the tour and explaining the process and giving us a little look into frame building Legos on the table here. If you guys are interested in a Vetra, ordering a Vetra, I'm going to put all the links below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, keep the supple side down.